All right. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Happy Friday. I see some people are already on with me. Harry from Georgia. Hot, hot, hot Georgia. Harry, when you say hot, 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 how hot are we talking? Because I'm in Chicago and it feels like at least has been over 100 degrees for the last 2 days. So it's been pretty toasty. All right, we got a handful of people actually already on, which is awesome. So welcome. Good morning. This is going to be a short one. I say that every time, and then I always end up talking forever. But this one actually will be pretty short. We are going over this idea of not a one-size-fits-all. So when we say not a one-size-fits-all, good morning, Joe. How we doing, man? Man, Joe, it's been a little bit. I hope all is going well. We need to catch up. So when we say it's not a one-size-fits-all, what we mean by one-size-fits-all, we're talking about specifically with the interview approach. Brian Barlow, how we doing? Good morning. So the idea of this talk, and this was kind of inspired by next week at NRF Protect, which I'm not sure who's going to be out there with us in Cleveland, but Dave Thompson and I are going to be giving a presentation on Wednesday evening. At 5:30. So if you are there, definitely make sure you track us down and come see the presentation. But the presentation is going to be on what I'm talking about right now, which is kind of the idea of how things have changed over the years in the investigative interviewing community with the understanding of selecting the correct approach for the correct audience. Good morning, Glenn. How we doing? Oh, good. Yeah. The concept is universal too, which is kind of the point of it. But so Dave and I are going to be speaking on this idea of how the interviewing process has changed over the years, and not necessarily just speaking to the evolution of it, but really talking about how we just have more knowledge and more resources available to us now with research that's been conducted for effective approaches of interviewing in different types of scenarios with different types of subjects, that now we have more options for selecting an appropriate approach that's going to get us the right amount of information that we're really looking to get. So what I mean by that, and what we're going to be doing at NRF Protect, is we're going to be walking through the evolution. So talking about even 15, 20 years ago, what most people tended to default to doing with an interview was to sit down and talk to them and just hope for the best. Now, obviously, there was a little bit of a strategy that was incorporated with that, but essentially it was the same approach for every single person, for every single scenario. Sit them down, talk to them, and try to see what that person will tell you. As most of us know, things have changed. So now we realize that there are different approaches that are going to be more impactful and more effective for the audience that we're speaking to. So, for example, and Brian's on the call now, but if you're dealing with a victim, so let's take a private sector case. If you had like an armed robbery or an ORC type related incident, whatever else it may be, if there's a victim that we're talking to and we need to get information from, instead of just going in and asking questions and hoping for the best, going in with a trauma-informed perspective and making sure that we understand what that individual went through, how that impacted them, and how that affected their way to actually process, store, and retrieve that information when we go to question them on it later on. And adjusting our approach accordingly so that we can not only put them at ease, but putting them at ease will put us in a position where we're going to be more likely to get the maximum amount of information from that person. So trauma-informed interviewing is a very effective approach for certain audiences. When you're talking to somebody, and this is kind of what we're going to do with our presentation on Wednesday, but going in with one approach. So let's say I'm talking to a victim and I'm going at a trauma-informed interview approach for what we believe this person has been through. It's very possible that during that interview, or maybe shortly thereafter, based off information that we got from them, we need to adjust. So maybe I go in with a trauma-informed perspective and I'm trying a cognitive interview with this individual to get information, believing that they're a victim, and then information that's surfaced maybe comes forward and there's more reason to believe that maybe this person is not just a victim, maybe they were also involved. And if the person slides from a victim to now being a potential suspect, there's going to be different approaches and different ways in which we need to question them, and different styles and techniques that we can use so that we can preserve the victim approach to it, but also be able to lock them into alibis and stories that we can use further if it does evolve into more of a suspect style conversation. So the idea of this is go in educated and get educated on all the different modalities and methods that exist out there so that you can be flexible and dynamic to adjust in the moment or to adjust in the strategy long term of an investigation that you may have, so that you're going in and you're not just saying, let me wing it. You're going in with an intelligent, educated, informed approach so that you can deal with this person in the way that's most effective and most likely to get you the information that you're looking to get in the most effective and ethical way of getting it. So educating yourself on the different techniques and being able to deploy those in the moment is the key and kind of the ticket to being successful there. So that's what Dave and I will be talking about at NRF Protect. If you're there next week, again, make sure you track us down. We're also, WZ is hosting the party it's called Dive Bar. That's on Wednesday night as well. So make sure that you sign up and attend that. And then the last little shameless plug here. IAI is doing a webinar today. We're hosting a panel with Axis and with OpenEye, and we're going to be talking about all things recording of investigative interviews in the private sector. Benefits of it, some legal benefits of doing this as well, or at least considering it, training benefits, and then with Axis and OpenEye, they're actually going to be talking about the resources that they can provide you with to kind of begin to develop this infrastructure if you work for an organization that is considering dipping your foot into this. Sounds like it's named a Wayne type of place. Yeah, Wayne's the one who found that place, so that's a good observation. But I'm going to put the link in the chat now for the webinar this afternoon. It's at 1 o'clock Central. It is free to get on and join, but if you want to learn more about benefits of recording investigative interviews, specifically with regards to the private sector, and you want to learn more about some of the logistics of actually getting that infrastructure into place, this is going to be the webinar to jump on to get informed and learn a thing or two and bring it back to your organization. So join us at 1 o'clock as well for another free webinar. It's Friday, so why not? It's only an hour long. We'll wrap up by 2 Central, and then you can get to at least getting a little closer to enjoying your weekend. So that is all I got for you. Thanks for tuning in with us, as always, this morning, and we will see you around. Hopefully we'll see you next week in Cleveland. Take care.